Ang sinuli niyang pera magkano? 180 million pesos. Yung 30 billion na yun, sa 8% na lang, o 10% na natin para madaling compute, 3 billion kaagad. Yan kailangan malaman sa Blue Ribbon Committee hearing. Yung mga binanggit na congressmen ni Diskaya, madami po yan. May mga binanggit si Saldico na cabinet secretaries. Kailangan natin malaman yan. Again, wala akong sinasabi kung ano yung kaso kay Jinggoy and all the others, including Cheese and Joel. Pero isang tao lang po yan, si Yusek Bernardo. Siya yung gumitna sa lahat ng yan. Kumbaga sa ano siya yung naging makapili. Eh kung kaya ni Yusek Bernardo na kumausap sa isang senador, kumausap sa mga cabinet secretaries like Manny Bonoan, ano ang role niya? Gaano siya kalaki? Ano ang mga kontratang pinapasok niya? Isipin niyo, Secretary Manny Bonoan, sinabi ko to doon ni Senator Ping Lacson na speech niya. Sabi niya, 80 billion pesos ho yan. Si Manny Bonoan, 30 billion ang hinandel niya. Ang hinandel ni Yusek Bernardo was 50 billion. Nani-recall nyo ha? Mas malaki pa siya. Mas boss pa siya. Yan ang katotohanan na dapat natin malaman. So in relation to what you said, I don't want to dwell into the legal, but the basis of their cases was only one person at the time controlled by the Department of Justice.
May italitag lang ako with your kind permission. Yung regarding sa sistema ngayon ng paggagawa ng state witness, kung natatandaan nyo, may inimpose na additional requirement ang DOJ that is very dangerous. Not to mention, not included doon sa Witness Protection Act, yung restitution. Gina-justify nila yan. Dahil sabi nila, hindi pwede na ganun-ganun na lang. State witness ka, hindi mababalik. Where is the justice? Ito po ang mabigat dyan. Okay? Una-una, sasagutin ko, ibig sabihin ba pag state witness ka, hindi na mababawi yung ill-gotten wealth mo? No! Minimislead po tayo ng DOJ. There is such a thing as forfeiture proceedings na ang nag-i-initiate ay ang Office of the Solicitor General. At very expedient po ito. What do I mean expedient? Kasi nasa Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act that all your assets, kung ikaw ay public official, that are grossly disproportionate or not justified by your legitimate income, immediately presumed ill-gotten. So the presumption now is in favor of the government. Okay, alam mo na, wag po na kayo pumalag pa. Di pa ito proceed. Ngayon, anong procedure? The OSG will initiate forfeiture proceedings which is civil in nature before the courts. Sasabihin nila, ito ay ill-gotten, dapat kunin ng ating gobyerno. Bakit civil? And why is that advantageous to the government? Kapag civil, all you need is a preponderance of evidence, hindi guilt beyond reasonable doubt. So, anong importante rito kung bakit forfeiture? Sino nagdedetermine kung magkano babawiin? Ang hukuman after trial. Magkano ba talaga nakurakot nitong si A? 500 million, 1 billion, balik mo lahat sa gobyerno yan. Okay. Anong danger nitong lintik na restitution na inimbento ni Boying Remulla nung siya ay nasa DOJ? Ganito. Yung restitution, walang judicial process arbitrarily. Di ba sinasabi ni sino ba yung sabi, magpapalik daw siya ng 1 billion. Magbalik, si Bernardo. Magbabalik ka ng 1 billion, state witness ka, may immunity from suit ka. Paano kung 50, 100 billion ang kinurakot mo? Who is to determine that? Definitely not an executive officer, not the Secretary of Justice. It has to be the courts kasi. So, okay. Sasabihin mo, 1 billion, immune na ako. May 99 billion, 49 billion ako. I was able to keep that. Yan ang problema kung executive function yung restitution. Home free ka na for 1/50 of what you stole. O number 2, sinasabi nitong sino itong kamoting ito? Yung Chief State Prosecutor. Meron daw na WPP na provision na nakalagay, okay ka sa to justify restitution, okay kang maging state witness because meron doon nakalagay na once a state witness, you agree to any agreement or MOA or yung court order, etc. Hindi po yun justification for restitution. Yung MOA na yun is, number 1, for you to testify. Kasi pag hindi ka nag-testify, pabawiin yung immunity mo. Number 2, yung court order na yun refers specifically doon sa forfeiture. Hindi mo lalabanan yung forfeiture. Hindi ka iiwas doon sa pagbabalik. Yun ang restitution. Kapag inalaw mo ang DOJ ang magdetermine na X amount immune ka na, that is also rife for corruption. What is to stop Bernardo from saying, uy, hindi ko sinasabing ito nangyayari uy mga bossing, 1 billion, balik ko sa gobyerno, 1 billion sa inyo for the boys. Okay na ako, may 48 billion pa ako. Kaya wala iyan sa batas because yan ang maaaring mangyari. Laws do not exist just because may isang grupong congressman at senador sinabi, uy, itong batas, pinagdedebatihan yan, tinitignan yung consequences, matagal na proseso yan. Kaya yung mga mainipin sa batas, matagal po talaga because when you pass a law, napakahirap mong bawiin yan, you look at all possible consequences of every provision. Yan po ang objection namin. Now, yung sinasabi nilang MOA, na magbabayad ka ng certain amount, na immune ka na, that is even a contract that is void because it is contrary to public policy. Hindi po public policy na you return part of the stolen assets that you have and you retain part of it. Wala pong ganun. That is contrary to public policy. Ang public policy, nang nakaw ka, ibalik mo lahat through forfeiture proceedings. Hindi naintindihan ng iba. Oo. Tignan niyo yung batas. O huwag feeling lawyer kasi porket Senate President ang matagal. Kahit isang taon lang nandyan, kung one ball university ang edukasyon mo, hindi ka magiging abogado. Hindi naman maging condescending ng lawyers. Kasi mahirap po. Mahirap tignan yung batas kung hindi talagang napag-aralan. In the same way na ako, paggawa niyo ako ng plano ng bahay, sasabihin ko, hindi ko kaya. Hindi ko pwede sabihin, sige, drawing ko. Gawin mo. Magigiba yun. Ganun po yung kanya-kanyang expertise yan.
Tama.
Last na lang po on my end. As legal counsel din po ni Senator Bato Attorney doon sa issue, doon sa motion na maaprubahan or maamyendahan yung Senate rules doon sa online or virtual attendance. Bakit sa tingin niyo po dapat itong maaprubahan sa Senado since sinasabi po ng minority, iba naman po yung case kasi ni Congresswoman De Lima that time kasi siya ay nagpasakop sa batas, sumuko sa batas while sinasabi po nila na si Sen Bato ay nagtatago raw po kaya hindi dapat ito ma-approve tapos mabigyan siya ng privilege to attend online.
We're going ahead of the story, ma'am Walang proper and improper within the Senate because the Senate is the sole judge of what rules it will promulgate subject to the approval of the minority. Walang tama, walang mali dyan while it is being deliberated. We have to distinguish, ayan ang sinasabi ko nga kapag ginagawa ng Senado pa lamang, hindi mo pwedeng pigilan yan on the ground that the result might be unconstitutional. Hindi mo alam Ngayon, majority, inaprubahan yan. May sinasabi ng minority, hindi tama. That is the time that you go to court. Once the rules have been approved by the majority, that's when you question grave abuse of discretion. But while the discretion, which is plenary, ibig sabihin plenary, ay walang limits, plenipotentiary in nature, ang exercise ng function ng Senado of rule-making or law-making, hindi pwedeng pigilan yan. You can only question the end result. Pag may batas na, punta ka sa court, unconstitutional. Pag may rule na, punta ka sa Supreme Court, kung minority ka, nawit natin, stopping them. Grave abuse. Pero once ginagawa pa lamang, Hindi mo pwedeng pigilan yan. Otherwise, you might as well say that ang Supreme Court on courts ang judge whether or not the Senate can exercise its function. Let the Senate exercise its function. Anong function? May proposal ng amendment. Pagbobotohan, na-approve yung amendment. Tingin mo, grave abuse, that's when you go to court. Yung proseso, di mo pwedeng pigilan yan. Yan ang natitirang yung territory that is called non-justiciable or political. Although expanded na sa Section 1, Article 3 ng Constitution ng judicial power, meron pa rin mga areas na hindi pwedeng panghimasukan ng judiciary. That is one of them. The other is the question of executive clemency. Hindi pwedeng panghimasukan yan ng judiciary. May natitira pa rin pong political question. And let no law dean or law professor tell you otherwise. Kasi if something is wrong, 5,000 devils saying it is right does not make it right.
Okay, if I may explain yung rules alam nyo, 2 weeks ago, ang Kongreso nag-approve ng ruling. Ang sabi ng Kongreso, we are allowed to do virtual session, virtual committee hearings. Meaning, voice and vote, pinayagan ng Kongreso 2 weeks ago. Yung nangyari na dati daw sinasabi lang, iba yung kay Senator De Lima, iba yung kay Senator Trillanes. Totoo po yun. Kasi ang ginawa nila, resolution. A particular resolution to allow a particular senator. Ito yung ginagawa nila Senator Marcoleta, yung kanyang motion, is an amendment of the rules of the Senate. Section 136. Ang sinasabi doon ay papayagan natin ang mga senador, because of their circumstance lahat, ay payagang bumoto at dumibate sa Senado. So yun ho ang diferensya doon sa issue nila. Ngayon na naging debate nung nakaraan sa Senado, kasi nagmotion si Senator Marcoleta, idinaan sa committee, sa Rules Committee. Ang sabi nila, hindi pa constituted yan eh. Bakit natin iti-take up ngayon? Dapat may committee report. But actually, yung sinasabi, the plenary o yung pangkabuuan is the highest body of the Senate. Siguro, nakita nila, sige, huwag na natin ipilit ngayon, next week na natin ipasok yung motion. But that is a motion to amend the rules of the Senate. Actually, the existing Senate rules now, during COVID, inaalaw talaga nila yung virtual Zoom or committee hearings. Yes, because of COVID. But now, it is an amendment of the rules. Ngayon, papasok ako dun sa posisyon ng majority as of now. Ikukulong mo yung mga kasama ko on the basis of a Yusek Bernardo affidavit. Tatanggalan mo sila ng boses, tatanggalan mo sila ng boto, na kinakatawan nila ang marami pong Pilipinong bumoto. Why will I deny you that? Kasi ang gusto nila, pag walang virtual voting, presence in the Senate, yan ang nangyari kay Senator Bato. Dahil requirement nila, kailangan may physical presence ka. And nung noong araw niloloko si Senator Bato, sabi, hindi, nagtatakot ka, nagtatago ka. In fact, kita natin yung nangyari. Hinabol siya, aarestuhin siya. So yun yung gusto nilang gawin. Bawasan ang majority. Mawalan ng physical presence. Para muli, matanggal nila ang Blue Ribbon Committee at sila ulit ang mamuno. Babalik ako. Yung amendment niyan, yung gulo niyan, Blue Ribbon Committee hearing. Ang apil ako sa minority. Pagbigyan lang nila. 2-3 hearings ang Blue Ribbon. Lumabas ang katotohanan. Pagkatapos, kunin nila ulit ang Senate majority. Palabasin lang nila ang totoo at malaman ng taong bayan.
Tama!
And on general principles, we have to remember that senators are elected at large. Pag diniprive mo ng participation at boto yan, you disenfranchise effectively the millions, tens of millions of people who voted for them. Yan ang general principle. Ang sovereignty resides in the people. Dapat lagi yan ang fundament. Yun ang unang-unang linya ng ating konstitusyon. Ang nagbigay ng karapatan dyan ay taong bayan. You do not lightly silence their voices ng ganun-ganun na lamang. Presumed innocent yan kahit ikulong mo yan eh. O the presumption of innocence will always apply until final conviction. Bakit i-deprive mo? Ang bottom line, mahirap si Senator Jinggoy, si Senator Bato, si Senator Marcoleta, si Senator Cheese, o si Senator Joel, biro mo, tatanggalin nila ng buto. Hindi pwede. Oo. Hindi maganda. Boto! Boto!
Boto.
Ferdinand de los Reyes po, OFW leader and advocate. At the same time po, patriotikong Pilipino connected by Russian government. Meron po akong katanungan sa tatlong magigiting nating mga abogado tsaka isang congressman. Isa puso namin. Ang tanong ko lamang po kasi nagkaroon po kami ako po ay membro ng Patriotikong Pilipino. Ito po ay connected sa Russian government under President Vladimir Putin. Nagkaroon po kami ng teleconference at nabanggit po namin itong usapin na ito na sobrang panghihimasok na po ng ICC even without proper jurisdiction.